Hey guys, welcome to the next episode of Powerless. We have a full panel and a special guest, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, we're here. It's Powerless, episode 2. I'm really excited about this show, guys. It's been pumping me up. I always want to live in a superhero world. And it's so cute. And Danny Pudai's there and Ron Funches. So, I mean, really, you can't complain. I'm your host, Joelle Monique, and this is my lovely panel.
Hey guys, I'm Lacretia Lyon. You can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet since there is only one.
Just the one.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RealChae
Hi, I'm Becca Brown. You all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
Someone is making noise over here.
I was like, what is that?
I wondered what that was. Mine's total bad, apparently. I failed.
Don't worry. I had to learn to put it on mute all the time.
Guys, pull it together because we actually have a really special guest in the studio with us today. Live, it's Patrick Schumacker, who is the showrunner for Powerless. What? Exciting! This is amazing! Thank you so much. Co-showrunner.
I saw that.
With Justin Halpern, my longtime writing partner, producing partner.
That's awesome. Sweet. I have to point out before we get started, your Wayne Security sweatshirt, which is everything to me. It is beautiful. Is it as comfortable as it looks?
It is so comfortable. It's a lightweight material.
Where can we get them?
Very limited edition. Crew only.
So I have to fight
job on Powerless Season 1.
And what if I trade you a Rihanna crew only shirt for one?
You got one in the male large.
I love it.
I might.
Let's get into breaking down this episode. A lot of fun things happened. Mostly what I liked is that in the superhero world, there are long lines at cupcake shops. People get really excited for.
I was craving cupcakes.
Did it satisfy your hunger watching cupcakes get blown up? Probably not.
I miss crumbs.
What?
I miss crumbs. The cupcake.
See, I'm all
I'm
about
not a sprinkles person. Like, I love crumbs.
They have vending machines. What is wrong with you?
And they did the Batman anniversary cupcakes.
The Batman anniversary cupcakes. Like,
Sprinkles.
do you need anything else?
Sprinkles, that's so awesome, but I really want crumbs. I'm just sorry.
Patrick, are you a cupcake guy?
Yeah, I love cupcakes.
Do you have a favorite kind of cupcake?
I've done the vending machine. It was
Yes.
real sad. It was like 2 a.m. and it was and there was one other guy there, and he was like, "Hey, what's good here?" And he he's looking at me like, this guy frequents this place. So I'm a sprinkles dude. Yeah.
It's classic.
I'm
It's
more of a
everywhere.
donuts than a cupcake guy. But I know my sweets.
Have you been to Dunkin' Donuts since it's been to California?
Yeah, like once. They have surprisingly good coffee.
They have the best coffee in the country. Starbucks can't compare. It's Dunkin' Donuts. It's pretty good. You heard it here first.
I actually run on Dunkin'.
Just like America.
Yeah.
How we survived. Thank you, babe. So I like this episode because it brings up a lot of workplace humor that I found like way too relevant to my actual life of like internet usage and whether you can stream at work or not. And then also this interesting question of can you be both friend and boss? Are you friends with your employees?
It depends on the show. This one, no. No, I mean, it is a tough thing. It's a weird thing when you're when you get into the showrunner position of you spend so many hours with like say 10 other people in the room like all day that eventually it's kind of like you got to become friends or else it's just really awkward and uncomfortable. So it's a little bit of an anomaly.
Yes.
It's hard to say. But I was glad that you were like, this is relatable stuff in an office workplace because it's been a really long time since I've worked in a traditional workplace.
Sure.
But I think that stuff is kind of like evergreen, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a lot of the stuff that I'm pointing there because we watched
Back that way.
a lot of stuff I saw on this brick wall. No, a lot of stuff in the episode that we just watched, was inspired by stuff that we dealt with. We worked, Justin and I both worked at a company called Break Media, which is now Defy Media.
Yes.
I ran a site called Screen Junkies.
Okay.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
I love Screen Junkies.
It's very different when I ran it. It was not as popular. And Justin ran a site called Holy Taco, which I don't know if it exists anymore. It was like the comedy site, and I was the movie TV fan guy. Anyway, so I'm glad that our sort of past experience is still translating. And this episode in particular was written by Dean Lorey, who is, I'm pretty sure, only worked in television his entire career.
Okay,
so.
one, super lucky.
Yeah. No, very talented writer, has been working for a very long time. So, glad that that stuff is kind of universal.
And it definitely hit. Particularly the part about computer. I worked at a startup with Grubhub when it was a startup.
Yeah.
And back in the day, they were like, just watch movies. Like when the phone rings, just pause, deal with it, and you can go back. I killed shows. Like I just murdered like giant binges of shows, like all of American Horror Story. And then one day they were like, so no more streaming, and I was like, I don't even want to work here anymore. They were like, you should probably do the work. I was like, oh, but the movies are on. So no, I absolutely related to it. Jackie doesn't think you guys can be friends. Doesn't think a boss can be friends with her employees. What do you guys think?
I think it is possible, but you have to realize when you're at work, sometimes the boss is going to be more than the friend, sometimes, depending on the situation, of course.
That makes sense.
I see both sides of it. I mean, I think it's possible, but...
Are you friends with any of your bosses here, Becca?
Yeah.
I feel like you're friends with all of your bosses here.
don't we go out to eat together sometimes?
Right, you know.
Don't you go on hikes together?
That's what I was going to say.
We wake up on each other's couches.
Don't know about that.
I did on the couch 2 weeks ago. It was great.
But I'm friends with a lot of people here. I would consider people here my friends. Hi.
Triumphant.
But then I can also see the other side. Like some people aren't as lucky to have great work environments.
Let me put another question to you guys. If Emily was your boss, would you be friends with her?
Yes.
I actually would.
Is it because it's Vanessa Hudgens or because you like Emily?
I think it's both. Because I would love to be Vanessa Hudgens' friend also, but I love Emily's character. I wrote, like, she has, like, this awkward chic thing going on, which I find so awesome and fun to be around.
It's a nice mix of Ugly Betty meets Mindy Kaling.
Yeah,
definitely
see that.
Yeah,
and she's like fun and like quirky, and I'm quirky, so like her quirks and my quirks should get together and just have a party.
She said Friday, and that would have been it. I'd have been like, girl, you can't give me like a week, like give me till Monday. I need some cushion time. What if we fail bad? Like you're just setting me up for disaster. I would have had problems with that. They'd be like,
you gotta set boundaries. You know,
and you gotta listen to your team. Your whole team is saying that's fast for us, and she's like, no, we can do it.
I will.
I think. But like, you know, even Teddy said, like, you know, like we bitch and complain, but we'll get it done. But I'm just like, I think she knows, like, as much as y'all bitch and complain about it, you can get it done by Friday. It is possible. Be done.
I'm lazy, apparently.
It's a tough situation because it's like she's new to the job. You know, we tried to play the sort of like novelty of the job for her, and like wanted to use this as an episode where she's kind of transitioning from like the outsider that they don't really trust into them seeing her as like a human being.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're gonna. I think if there's one sort of complaint that I've picked up on in the first couple episodes, it's like that they're too mean to Emily, and it's like,
that's what she's a newbie.
First off, Vanessa's adorable, so like if you raise your voice to Vanessa, it's like you're being mean to Vanessa.
That's like when you do it to Becca. Like it's like kicking you're kicking a puppy.
Yeah.
Well, I like puppies, so I'll take it.
Well, like no, like if somebody yells at you, I feel super bad. I will go up to defend you because I'm just like, do not yell at Becca. She is I will yell all you trolls and haters. I mean, I can do it, but I do it with like a friendship thing. Like, and I don't mean anything mean by it. I really don't, because she knows I love her to death. Anybody else, however, we don't play them games here.
You're yelling at Definitely. So, then we get this really great stuff with Van, who gets cut out of a photo and is not happy about it.
His eyes are like, was just like, what would you call that? Like,
sleepy.
Yeah, half asleep.
Yeah.
Or high.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was a high picture.
He looks like maybe he took too much NyQuil and he's not quite awake yet.
Looks like my yearbook photo.
It's not a good look for him.
When they don't count you down, they're just like, oh, picture time.
I had a question. Does Bruce pick his special team? I forgot what his team is called.
Wayne Dream Team?
Thank you. Does Bruce pick his Wayne Dream Team?
Yeah, I mean, so the idea was, and we ended up cutting a lot of the explanation version of it, but like these are sort of the heavy hitters in the company, the sort of like employees of the month, if you will, but like sort of for all of Wayne Industries. And the idea was that the party was over in Greenland.
Yeah.
And now I can't remember the joke. But you know, that they were all kind of feted over in Greenland, and but yeah, Bruce is hand selected.
I feel like Bruce needs to pick some ladies. Like, can we get like a nice mix in there, Bruce? What's happening?
See, it's like that's the persona though that Bruce portrays, to sort of stay away from the heroic Batman persona. I could see like Bruce as the international playboy that he is, painting himself as a misogynist.
I buy this. He does it is it Dark Knight Rises where he takes the whole no, it's
Dark Knight.
It's a Dark Knight where he takes all the ballerinas onto the cruise. Yeah. So this makes sense. Okay, I buy this line of thinking. I'm less mad at Bruce now. He's just playing the part. He's got to be Batman.
You know he's a good guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Van does everything he can to make sure that he's brought back into this photo. Yeah, and he decides to go with the finger guns, which is great. I'm a big Bulls fan, so when Joel Kim Noah had his pistols out, I was always really excited. I like that Van eventually turned his finger pistols into a machine gun.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe mowing down your employees, even just with your fingers. HR didn't want to get in on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's just a big boss.
I like the character, was it Sean or Sam? Sam was the HR guy.
Oh,
yeah, Sam.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That's a great character.
Yeah, we
want to
try and bring him back. Michael Cohen, great actor. Just perfect role. It's funny, he came in for that role, and we also had him read for Prince Evilo, the guy.
Yeah.
And he was hysterical in both of them, but we were like, well, this guy's so good, we want to give him as big a role as we can. He had worked with the writer Dean Lorey on a pilot that he had done for True TV, and I think he might have been in. Dean ran a show called Those Who Can't.
Teach.
Yeah, it's about teachers, and I think Michael was on that show maybe 1 or 2 episodes. But yeah, we want to bring him back. We haven't had an opportunity to bring him back, but he absolutely, I thought he killed it. So
what was so funny with him was like when I first saw him, because I only think of Henry Danger for some reason, like in the accent. So I was like, oh, he can talk normal. Like that was like my first thing that came out of my mouth. He can talk normal.
That is the first thing.
Well, it's just
it was just like what?
I was like. Okay.
I'm so used to Schwaz's voice, so it's just like, oh, wait, you actually can't talk. Okay, cool. My mind kind of went.
You're not just one character. Question mark.
Just like the finger guns made me think of Cougar Town, which Danny Pooney's character Abed on Community loved as well, because Jules had to really,
Cougar Town for a season. Yeah.
That's right. One of the best shows. Miss it so much.
It was a fun
She really does. She talks about it all. This
time.
And Chuck are like she would bring them back instantly.
I
think we learned a lot about Juliette and Van's relationship in this episode, which I thought was really exciting because they seemed to have such a tumultuous relationship in the first episode. But now
Jackie?
Jackie.
I was like racking my brain like,
Yeah,
oh no,
like,
who's Juliette? I should know. I have all the people in this room. I should know who Juliette is.
I was like, it's right with the J.
All right, good.
But we see that like as maybe self-absorbed as Van is, he does care for Jackie in some ways. You know, he helped her put her dog down.
Yeah, he paid a lot of money for them to put her dog down
in
at
her
the
house, which I think has got to definitely be extra.
Yeah,
It's
right.
Yeah.
He's like, he's looking for the unconditional love of a mother. He's not getting it from his own mother. And so he kind of turns to Jackie as his surrogate mother, which, she is. He's pretty much this helpless kind of wastrel of a guy. So yeah, Jackie knows where her bread's buttered. So she takes care of his stuff.
What I like about this is it feels very Hollywood in that I've seen a lot of higher ups who are supported by their secretaries who basically just like without them they'd be like, I don't even know what my schedule is today, or I don't drive, so how do I get there? Like,
and how can I wear the same cufflinks in 2 days? Like,
they don't even know how to clear their dishes off the table. Like, really reliant on these women, mostly women, a couple men here and there, in these assistant roles and keeping
assistants.
That. And a lot of those guys are lifers. A lot of lifer executive assistants out here. So it's kind of cool to see how those relationships work, and it's a nice way to explore it that doesn't just seem like it's demeaning them. I see a lot of times when you see them on like portrayals like that on TV, they just kind of seem like whipped and
and
beat
she's
up.
smarter than him.
Yeah.
I think the cool thing about this cast, and we were really blessed with this cast.
It's
is that,
amazing cast.
It's a really good cast.
yeah, really good cast, and you can kind of plug in, take any two cast members and kind of put them together. And like Jackie's relationship with kind of everybody is going to evolve throughout the season, but especially with Emily, she kind of ends up like taking her under her wing, and she's like kind of the ghost of Christmas future for everybody. And, if you don't play your cards right, you're gonna end up like me, kind of thing. So she's kind of bitter and cynical. And it's a good odd couple thing between her and like Vanessa's super optimistic, kind of bubbly personality. So
they have a great back and forth, just saying the cupcake line. Where she's
like,
like,
"You're
I'm
funny."
joking. Like, you're not joking. Like, come on. They're so cute.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about this episode was the superhero fantasy league.
Yeah.
Is there any chance we will see that in IRL? Like, I want to join the
In
superhero
IRL.
Yeah,
fantasy
the
league.
Renji in the chat is
I
also
wanna
asking
do it.
about it too.
I was gonna say someone in the chat asked about it.
A board game, computer game.
That's a good idea. I mean, there haven't been any plans. I don't know. It's funny because, I don't know how you could game the system so easily if you were basing it off of like DC like print comics or something like that. It's just like anybody who had like insider track at DC
That's
could
true.
just tell you what's gonna happen.
I mean, but what was that?
Some of us do.
I would say the football one, just had that scandal recently, and I feel like they put up really good roadblocks to make sure their employees can't bet anymore, so I feel like we could make it work for here.
We can
I
make
think
it
so.
work.
Different pool for the DC writers. You guys,
There's like we had to come up with like kind of a whole system, but we had to just kind of make it like sound real enough, like with the saves and the points and stuff like that, but I mean, we didn't take it all that deep,
I
really could go.
But now you know you can make money.
Yeah.
we will put down cash, and I will choose Batman every time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna choose Crimson Fox
Yeah.
because she rules right now.
Yeah.
She saved the entire cruise ship, guys.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see. Are we gonna get more of the Crimson Fox? She was cool in the first episode. I was really excited that you guys you led with a female superhero.
Yeah, and that's not the only female superhero we're gonna have on the show.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, so Crimson Fox is in a few more episodes so far that we've shot, and then we just brought on this actress Natalie Morales.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's gonna play a character named Green Fury, who a lot of people know as Fire,
Yeah.
Fire and Ice.
Yes.
So she's green and shoots fire and can be consumed by fire.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, when we're done,
Someone should
when we're
gif your
done
face.
shooting.
She's Brazilian in the animated
She's
series.
she's Brazilian in the series. Natalie, I think, is of Cuban descent. So
Still
we're-
very dope.
well, we're talking about that now. How much do we want to lean into that? And we may just kind of play it a little bit ambiguous. Also, the character's from Brazil in the original, and we're playing this as she was born in the States.
Copy.
Yeah, so I like, especially with characters like Crimson Fox and Green Fury. We also have a character named Olympian, who's a male, sort of Greek god inspired.
Yeah.
All these members
Oh,
of
yeah.
Global Guardians, which are like a more obscure DC sort of supergroup of these like international heroes. The idea is that we're gonna play them all on the show as American versions. They're almost like the kids of the original ones, if you want to.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
But our show exists in its own continuity. We're calling it Earth P. Anyways, so you're gonna see, Jack-o'-lantern makes a return.
Yes,
But then
he's really
also, and we've retconned that so that he's a villain. He was another member of the Global Guardians in heroic capacity.
I know you guys brought Van as an actual character from a singular comic book way back in the day.
Yeah.
Is Prince Evil-O?
Yes.
Really?
In fact, if you look at his prisoner number, it's ADV CMX 350, I think, which is Adventure Comics 350.
Oh wow.
Which is where his original his first appearance.
I really respect the deep cuts you guys have in
I'm a big
there.
nerd.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz
I might have
TV
an
exclusive.
Oh, I have a question though. Will we have Emily have a love interest?
Yes, and soon.
Oh,
In a couple of weeks.
yeah.
But are we talking like?
Like a long
Someone
time.
who's
Can
been
we spill a little tea real quick? Just if you can tell us about the tea.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be like a villain-esque type?
Yes.
Yes! She called that episode one. She's so excited
I
about
kind of
it.
already
Yeah.
read the article.
Yeah.
And I did not. So
It's
I
out,
was
it's
like,
out
yeah,
there.
that's cool, yeah.
They actually ran it's funny, NBC ran a promo the other night, I think during SNL,
Yeah.
where it was like Valentine's week, and they showed these clips from an episode that's actually not airing until like a couple weeks after Valentine's week. So it's really confusing, but I want to say on like February 23rd, we're going to have guest star Robert Buckley from iZombie,
Yeah.
who plays this guy Dan, who Emily starts dating. and he may or may not turn out to be a henchman for the Riddler.
The Riddler.
Yeah, I liked the Riddler angle.
I love the Riddler.
I'm glad we're getting into henchmen. I know this is DC, but Marvel did a really great series. Oh my gosh, where they had one of the guys from Hydra. Is it? I cannot remember the name of this book. I had it and then it was gone. And it's just a normal guy who has like a regular family, but he works for Hydra. Oh, that's great. And so it's really cool to see it here now televised, where we get just what is a normal henchman like who are the guys that sign up. So I'm really excited to get into that.
Yeah.
I also want to know, I know Vanessa said in an interview that we probably weren't going to see Bruce on the show, but we now know Van's got some mommy issues. Is there a chance we'll get to see his mother?
We've had a lot of one-sided phone calls with his mom on the show. You do see his father in the episode that airs next week, and he's played by Corbin Burnson.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, I love him.
Van Senior, who that character is completely created for the show.
Nice.
But yeah, Van Allen Tudyk's character is sort of a retconned version of Vanderveer Wayne, who was in one issue of Detective Comics from back in, I want to say 1961 or 62, kind of a con man. And we sort of stumbled on the character and then came to DC and were like, can we, use him? And they were like, they were like, let me run it by Jeff Johns, and then they were like, Jeff actually didn't even know about this character, which is crazy because Jeff is like a walking encyclopedia, both DC and Marvel, but especially DC. So I'm sure he immediately familiarized himself with that character. But so it was Van Senior. Corbin Burnson is a big part of next week's episode when they try and do a business deal with the Atlanteans.
Very cool.
Speaking of characters who could possibly come, it wouldn't be me if I didn't ask about him, since it is NBC and it is DC.
Oh boy.
Well, what about John Constantine?
That'd be pretty cool. I mean, we actually, the only thing I can say, well, one thing I can say is no. Two, we might in our prop room have a few actual props from the Constantine show that may show up kind of in the background in some episode.
The Dr. Fate mask.
We have the Dr. Fate.
Yes.
She has requests.
I'm the Encyclopedia of Constantine.
To do a quick wrap up since we're running out of time here, the team built an umbrella. It doesn't work, then it does work, and it's amazing.
It's a rum umbrella.
Yes, it's called the Rumbrella, which I thought would have shots of rum, but that's okay. Emily learns that she can be boss and friendly with her folks. So you guys think that's fair?
Yeah,
so she's
no.
learning. She's growing into her role, which is really exciting. Van and Jackie are on good terms. I think they're always just kind of going to be them, which is cool, and it's a lot of fun.
I like that there's some tension. But
Yes. Let's do really, really lightning fast predictions for next week.
Oh, I'm really bad at predictions. Go.
I predicted last week that she's gonna have a villain boyfriend, so I'm really happy
She's
with
like,
my
I'm
prediction.
just gonna stay on this streak.
I'm super happy. So next.
I predict that there's going to be more Green Lantern jokes because I want more Green Lantern
I can
jokes.
always do more Green Lantern jokes. I'm hoping for a flyby of the Flash at some point. Just the Crimson Strip. That's all I need.
But he's out for the season with Sinestro.
They did say. Well, let's thank Patrick Schumacker for being here with us and answering all of our questions and being super, super awesome. Of course, thank you guys for tuning in. We love you and we really appreciate you guys joining us in the chat. Make sure you head over to YouTube and leave comments. We love hearing from you guys. Go to iTunes and leave us 5 stars. Give us a rating. It helps let our producers know you like the show. And then, maybe bring more cool people like Patrick in. So I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Joelle Monique every week at blackgirlnerds.com. I was on Schmoes No last night and had a blast talking about the Batman Lego movie. Go check out Go check that out. This is the panel.
Hey guys, I'm Lacretia Lyon. You can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one, and all over the DC universe. I do Supergirl, I do Legends of Tomorrow, and I think I'm on Arrow next week, maybe.
Check out our show on Wednesdays, the comic book exchange over on our sister network, Circle Online.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram, and I do Bull, and I'm doing Doubt starting next week, which is amazing.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Becca Brown. Y'all find me on Twitter and Instagram, Becca B Talks TV, and Shadowhunters is Tuesdays at 6, and then Beyond is Mondays at 10.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.